Now, the final player for KT Rolster will be determined, and he will have to go through Maru as well as one other player. The only player that comes to mind is Stats here.
It has to be Stats, man. He did so well yesterday. He's going to do it again.
There he is. 10-2 in Pro League 2015. 5-1 versus Terran. And he just beat Innovation on this map yesterday.
Yeah, man. He beat the second best Terran in the world, and now it's time for the best.
And a terrifying thought for Jin Air fans everywhere is if Stats is able to somehow defeat Maru, who do they have to beat Stats?
Who do they use for that? Rogue? I don't think so.
I don't think so, man.
Terminator? No.
Pig Baby's going to have to come out for the PvP snipe before I see that happening.
Oh, my God. Pig Baby? I don't know, man. They're kind of running dry on what they'd use against this kind of Protoss player, I think.
Cure may be the only last option, but
maybe
if Maru can't beat Stats, can Cure do it? I don't think so.
Well, I think it might have to be because it is going to be Vani as the 7th map, and that's not a bad map for Cure. But before then, let's see what happens in this match. Can Maru just close things out? Yep. Definitely his favor, I think.
Yeah. That's definitely what every Jin Air fan is hoping for, just to have Maru finish this off and not have to have that stressful last game, which would make them very vulnerable. And in a way, if your Stats, you're very comfortable on this map. He loves his Blink Stalker play here. You got to be thinking to yourself, like, I can do this. Like, I'm not desperate. I'm the last player standing, but they've only got 2. And if I can get through Maru, I've got a good chance of taking 2 kills and actually finish this off and bringing my team to the finals.
I think he's definitely looking at Maru, and he looks at him and sees the finish line right there. It's like whoever comes next will not be as dangerous.
No, definitely not. The thing is, Maru does not play like Innovation. Maru, you never know what he's going to do, especially today when he's shown us so many different styles already.
Oh, especially today. Yeah, he is showing stuff we just have not seen from Maru before or in a long time.
Yeah. Oh, boy. This could be the final map. Can Maru close it out and bring his team to yet another finals? Or is it going to be Stats who's able to force that last Jin Air player to try to get the multi-kill he had yesterday? The map is Overgrowth, the 2-player map. Maru is going to have to play better than Innovation to take this win here. The crowd is ready. 50 seconds to go on that boat. Really curious to see who is going to come out on top in that one as well. All right, guys, it looks like we're going to be starting this one right here, right now. Maru versus Stats, Jin Air versus KT here at the semifinals for round 2. In the top, in green, the Marine Prince, 1 win away from victory. It's Maru.
In the bottom left for KT, it is their last hope. It is Stats.
He's insanely focused right now.
The all-killer from yesterday, the murderer. Murder Protoss. This is his new name. It's a horrible name. What does that mean?
So it's basically just got the IEM rivalry, the 97 rivalry. I think something about Stats there in the third one. And he wants to see him if he can cut off Maru's legs and arms, because that's what Stats said yesterday.
Damn.
They were going to say Maru. And then the last check missing is a Game 7, the full set, as it said.
What would it be? What would the last storyline be?
Well, taking a look at these votes, 55-45 in favor of Maru.
Maru looking a little nervous there, man. A couple of big breaths.
Yep.
He knows what's on the line, even with an extra life.
Watch Pro League at the studio. Watch VODs on YouTube. Watch the French restream on O Gaming TV at 2 a.m. You could do that.
Oh.
Hashtag passion. If you got that passion, check it out. Especially if you're really good at French. But if you like French commentary you don't understand,
I actually love French commentary, man.
Pomp and Toot are great. And guys over at O Gaming work really hard to bring that French coverage and the restream.
Listening to Funker cast as well is so much fun, man. They're hilarious.
They're such a great group of guys. Love meeting them over there at Iron Squid. So much fun. That was my favorite event I've ever been to, I think. Paris, a great city. But
I want to go there one day.
You definitely should, man. It exceeded my expectations more than I could have ever imagined. A lot of friendly people. Great food. And
Reaper opening.
Yep, it's scouted right away here by Stats.
There's no trickery this time.
Maru loves being tricky on 2-player maps as well. Would not have been out of the realm of possibility of Maru to proxy. Totally, especially with how crazy he's been today with the first 2 games we've seen from him. Would not have been too surprised if that happened.
Yeah, not too surprised at all. Reaper going to open things up. You know, kind of a safe opening as well. You know, good scout off.
Yes.
Good scout off is what I try to get out there.
Well said, my
Thank
lady.
you. I try my best. And besides that, obviously that pressure and an easy, natural.
Pentagon patrol here coming around. Force this probe to be Johnny on the spot, as well as he actually keeps the Zealot.
Yay. Has to keep the Zealot.
Which is pretty annoying.
It's a nice little victory in itself. And credit boosting out the Stalker as well.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird.
Only 1 gas, so it should be an expansion from this. No real surprises here.
And Maru actually leaves the Reaper at home.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to make Stats kind of annoyed because he was probably getting the Stalker because he was like, oh, I can't have, you know, the Reaper come down and kind of mess with me. Well, I don't have a Stalker out. And then he just runs around and gets probe kills and scouts my whole base.
Yeah, well, I guess the thing is, right, because it is a Reaper opening, the Reaper comes down there, harasses the Zealot. The Stalker chases the Reaper, goes into the main base. Like, think of it this way. Like, if he went for a Mothership Core, he has to keep the Mothership Core at home, essentially, because he can't really run down to the natural. Otherwise, the Reaper goes into the main base, and Mothership Core is chasing it for days,
Right.
never actually catching it.
Now he's going to walk across the map and try to get some more further concrete damage done here, poking at that Reaper. The Reaper did check that there was no really close by proxy Stargate because the SAV wasn't able to actually check the main because of that Stalker. So he's not sure what Stats is up to. He doesn't know where his pylons are, so he's playing it safe, checking out the top left for proxies. But it's just going to be a standard robo play. No blink out of Stats today on this map.
Yeah.
And he's going to need that robo because Widow Mines are on the way.
Exactly. So we know he's kind of the build he's up against at the very least. You see a Reaper that early. Obviously, the gas is in play extra early. Factory will come down a lot earlier than usual.
And Maru loves this style.
Oh, this is his bread and butter. This is the style that we expect from him every other game.
Yeah. Especially on Sejong, which is, I think, exactly why he didn't use it. Because he wanted to keep his opponent guessing. And this Reaper, again, just checking for proxies. Wants to make sure there's no Hidden Dark Shrine, no Hidden Nexus. Because that's starting to become a bit more popular. But might actually lose it. 2 more shots. There it goes.
Looks like he's looking for a third or something. Like a super fast third base or anything else he could find there.
Scanning the main.
Oh, Paranoia.
And that's going to let him know, okay, there's going to be observers out. I need to be careful with how I use these Widow Mines. They will be lost.
Yeah, but at least he knows for sure that it ain't going to be anything else. No Stargate on the way. He can take his Marines away from the mineral lines and start sending them down to the natural while he waits for that medivac. And 2 mines waiting for that medivac as well.
Yeah. Here they come. Taking the watchtower with a huge Marine count. 10 Marines on the map. And he's going to run into this watchtower, though. It's totally spotted. Also the observer there to help confirm as well. So he saves his, on the watchtower, which I think was just that Zealot.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the Zealot. And he's going to go for the main. What do we have in the main here?
Nothing, really, except the Nexus Cannon.
No detection currently. One about to finish in the Robo. But looks like it's rallied elsewhere.
Oh, he turns it around as soon as he sees that medevac, and this should not do much damage at all.
It shouldn't, but it's going to force the probes off the line in itself. That is a pretty big victory.
Now the medevac can actually come support these Marines a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit low, though, so I think he's going to have to just kind of pick up on the side and run away.
Yeah, boost and run. Oh. Nice move.
So solid defense here for Stats so far. Got a Forge up now.
It's still damage, though. You know what? It's still decent damage. Pulling the probes like that for a number of time, even losing 2 probes, it's going to build up over time. And we're going to see Maru do this again and again and constantly just try his best to force these probes off the line.
You think about it like this. Every probe trip is 5 minerals. If you pull 10 probes, 12 probes off the line, that's 50 to 60 minerals per trip you're missing for every second they're not mining. I mean, that starts to add up.
Oh, yeah. Very quickly as well.
Repairing this medevac, Like that a lot. Scans and kills the observer. Very diligent to making sure that you can deny this sort of information as best as possible. Cannon's going up here for Stats. We're seeing Stats especially more than other process. Hero and Stats were the only ones doing this a lot, but like Stats is super into adding cans. We've seen him add even like 3 cans out of base before. We saw him do that yesterday. If he suspects that Maru might get a bit more aggressive with these drops and perhaps even do a timing attack, I think we'll probably see him add more cans again. But Maru is taking a very fast third base here before 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty cool idea. He kind of got to see exactly what Stats was going for. He did get to see the Robo Bay and all that. And he's like, okay, so he's probably going to stay on 2 base and just be very, very defensive for the time being. And with his style, he's obviously adding a lot of cannons as well, so he's really investing in the fact that Maru wants to be aggressive. So if Maru simply goes into a hardcore bio, which he is, you know, he's completely stopped mines, and he just goes for a third base. He goes for a more traditional sort of army style, and he just gets ahead in economy and tries to crush it in a normal fight.
Yeah. Now, this third base over here for Stats he's trying to take is actually almost denied by a Marine. 4 health left, barely up. Probe escapes. Still slows it down a little bit and is very aware that it's coming. This observer just now scouts Maru's third, and I wonder how Stats is going to approach this. Is he going to try to attack it with his Colossi with range? That's exactly what Maru is going to try to prevent by sending a triple drop over to this Nexus. If Stats moves out right now to try to do any sort of pressure, he's going to lose his Nexus and will have to turn around. If he stays home, then Maru gets his base up uncontested.
I think for now, at least, Stats just has to stay here. He can actually do nothing. He's got to just try and defend. But look at his army. Look at what's defending between the third and natural. It's got 2 Colossus, a Zealot, and a Sentry. If these actually get caught out, he just loses them all. 100%.
He's going to have to maybe cancel his next. Okay, he's got a few units over here. This drop was not detected until just now. Good splits here by Maru, but he realizes this is Stats I'm dealing with here, and this is just too much bio, or rather too much frost. He's going to try to poke it, try to force a miss micro, maybe a mistake, but Stats holds tight here. But again, as I was saying, every moment that Stats sits back and defends, which he's kind of stuck doing right now, Maru gets more value out of that third base. You know, he's adding the armory to get the 2-2 upgrades now, and he's going to actually probably start adding some more tech labs on some more barracks to get better Marauder production, because Maru likes to just go full Marauder, skip the Vikings as long as possible.
I think we might actually see him invest in Vikings this time.
I hope so, because he's going to start to need them in this case.
Yeah, he's just not finding any sort of traction when it comes to the multi-prong attacks and whatnot. And it is getting to the point where these Colossus count is just getting a little too big. We already see 3 in that little ball there, and more on the way. A 4th about to pop out.
Yeah, in fact, if he wants to keep the Vikings, he may even want to get a second starport. Okay, he just starts that. He's getting +1 for his Vikings as well.
Yeah.
I like this because he's definitely going to need more than just 1 starport worth of Vikings to catch up at this point, because we're about to have 5 Colossi on the map. This drop is, I don't know if he saw that actually. Oh yeah, he sees it now for sure.
Yeah, he's going to have Stalkers in position for it.
Scouting Medevac checks to see where the army is, and now he's going to send the drop to the other location from behind! Force fields preemptively here for Stats are going to help him a little bit. The Colossus need to micro back towards those Zealots to the right side. Probes trying to buffer here as well. Zealots need to turn around. They're not in the right place. And this ends up being an incredibly good trade for Maru, and he just gets out with all of his Medevacs.
He completely resets the Colossus count. There is now 1 left over. This is such a huge move for Maru because it delays Stats for so much longer. Stats will not want to go on the map for any time in the future. He's going to wait for more Colossus to come out. He cannot fight this kind of bio army with no AoE. So the clock kind of just got reset for Maru. You know, he's got this huge window of opportunity to just keep harassing, not have to worry about a Viking count that's big or anything like that. He did all of the damage he needed to do to this army.
No one has been able to do this consistently, ever. No pro gamer in the world. Only Maru.
He scans it. He's like, only gateway units, only Zealots. Oh, you got 1 Colossus? I guess I'll just kite.
Kiting here, you know, just out-healing that Stalker damage. Just trading. Every trade is a good trade for him right now. But Storm is on the way.
He even saves a Marine.
He's going to have to, you know, take a good trade here before Storm, though. Marine does escape temporarily. Oh. Sad little Marine at the end there.
Yeah.
But Storm is an issue that he is not prepared to deal with except with perfect splitting, you know. It's not ready yet.
Before then, that's it, right? He's going to have to get this job done now.
You Vikings hear some feedbacks going down with those Templar to help eliminate some of that healing power, but the Zealots are stuck behind the Stalkers, and those Vikings are getting some serious shots off. 1 Colossus goes down, and look at the Zealots fighting alone. I think this is just. I think this is the end of the game. I think this is the end of the series, Moonblade.
I think so. There's simply too much damage here.
There's just way too much a good arc here. No Side Storm ready on these High Templar. They're too late. They're too slow. No energy. That Time Warp isn't going to do anything here. And that is going to be it. Stats is going to have to type out. And Jin Air Green Wings will be going to the grand finals of round 2 to fight against CJ Entis.
Wow, what a great way to finish things off. And all that smack talk that Stats was making yesterday.
If there are any doubters in the world, I think everyone can now know that Maru is by far the best Terran in the world. GG. Defeating Life and defeating Stats. Back-to-back, different styles. And did it all without his shoes on.
Just absolutely insane. This guy is just way too good.
So incredibly good. So good.
And I don't even know what is CJ going to do against this guy. They don't have many options.
They really don't, and I feel like CJ's roster is not really equipped to deal with the roster of Jin Air and the legendary players they have in their roster. You know, they're just not as equipped. They've got some good players for best of ones when you hit people and best of ones on good maps for the players, but when we're talking about all kill format, they have a bit of trouble.
Like, who do you even think would be sort of equipped to deal with Maru? I think Hero is there, but besides Hero,
Yo is the only other person that comes to mind, but I just don't even think he could do it.
Maybe Byung or Sky have a shot, like a very, very small chance of doing that, but he is just such a scary player right now.
Stats, man. He got Maru'd. Only Maru can make these drops, these Colossi snipes happen. Maru is the anti-Viking.
He is the anti-Viking.
He is the anti-Viking.
Well said. He doesn't need to make them because he's got Medivacs. And they drop Marauders. And that's all the anti-Colossus you ever need, apparently.
Especially on these maps like Overgrowth, Sejong, where you don't have that far of a rush distance to cover. And you're able to use the terrain against Stats in this case, you know, go over those rocks, over that cliff, I guess, you know, that blocking little outcropping there. And no doubt that Maru will be crowned MVP with this.
Oh, man, he better be.
Well, let's recap this. TY is able to take out Trap, a very important starting game to set the pace for KT Rolster, but then SOS tricks him with a hidden expansion, and Zest is able to win the PvP. But after that, Maru gets the cleanup sweep, taking out Zest, Life, and Stats back-to-back.
3 of the best players in the world back-to-back. Just like that, Maru just... It's unbelievable how good he is.
Made him look easy, all 3. Life, I think, put up the best fight, but it just still wasn't enough.
Yeah, especially with mech. You know, something we don't actually see from Maru ever. He goes mech.
Not what
against
Life was expecting.
Life, and he wins.
Yeah.
Pretty hands down.
Tough game for Life there. But that's it for KT Rolster. Both telecom companies eliminated before the finals. We're going to jump into that interview with Maru Soja.